Most problems at work don't fail because people aren't trying. They fail because we're not even solving the right problem. We jump in too quickly. We assume we already know what's wrong, and before we know it, we're fixing symptoms instead of causes. That is exactly why the define phase exists. This is where every successful Lean Six Sigma project begins. A lot of improvement efforts start like this. We need to improve efficiency. Patients are unhappy. This department is slow. Those sound right, but they're useless. They're too vague to solve. The define phase forces clarity. It answers questions like, what exactly is the problem? Who is affected? How will we measure success? And who needs to be involved? When this phase is done right, everything that comes after becomes easier. When it's skipped, everything becomes guesswork. Most improvement ideas don't come from the executives. They come from the people doing the work every day. Frontline staff see things that others miss. Projects usually start when something feels off. Delays keep increasing, errors keep happening, staff get frustrated, patients complain, costs go up. So let me give you a simple example. A clinic notices patients who are ready to go home, but they're still sitting in beds for hours. Now that creates a chain reaction. Beds aren't available, new patients wait longer, the staff feel overwhelmed. The define phase takes that situation and turns it into something that we can actually solve. One of the most important ideas in Lean Six Sigma is the voice of the customer. Now, who's the customer? The customer is anyone receiving the output of a process. In healthcare, that could be patients, nurses, physicians, even administrators. Now, here's the key. Different people care about different things. Take lab results, for example. Patients want results quickly. Physicians want accurate information. The organization wants efficiency. If results are delayed, decisions get delayed. Patients wait longer and workload increases. So we gather that voice through different means: surveys, interviews, reports, data. And we translate it into something measurable. Not just people are unhappy, but what exactly needs to be done for the process to improve. This is where things start to get real. We take the problem and we define it clearly. So here's a bad example. Patient wait times are terrible. Now here's a better example. Patient wait an average of 70 minutes when the target is 30 minutes. See, that's specific. That's measurable. Now that's actionable. A strong problem statement focuses on the current state, avoids jumping to solutions, and gives the team something concrete to work with. Once the problem is clear, we define the goal. And this is where the acronym SMART comes in. Goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So instead of saying, we want faster lab results, we say, reduce turnaround time from 120 minutes to 60 minutes within 6 months. Now the team knows exactly what success looks like. One of the biggest mistakes in improvement projects is trying to fix everything. In healthcare, processes are complex. If you try to tackle everything at once, you'll stall. So we define scope as what is included and what is not. So for example, instead of fixing the entire medication process, you focus only on errors during bedside barcode scanning. That focus is what makes projects successful. All of this comes together in one key document, the project charter. This is your project's foundation. It includes the problem, the goal, the scope, the impact, the team, and the timeline. Think of it as the way in which we align the team. Everyone agrees this is what we are solving, because without that, then teams will drift. Two more critical pieces to the define stage are first the stakeholders, of course, and these are the people affected by the process. If you don't involve them early, you miss key insights and you risk resistance later. Second, High-level process mapping. Before diving into the data, we must map the process step by step from start to finish. Even a simple map can reveal bottlenecks, causes for the delays, unclear responsibilities, and that sets us up for the next phase. Now, let me warn you about something. Teams rush this stage all the time. They tend to jump to solutions right away. They define the problems too broadly. They can ignore stakeholders, and then they can set unrealistic goals. And then they wonder why the project fails. If define is weak, everything else collapses. So by the end of the define phase, you should have three things: a clear project charter and work plan, a measurable customer requirement, and a high-level process map. That will be your foundation. Now you're not guessing anymore. You're ready to move into the next phase, the measure phase. And that's where we start working with real data.